Abdul Aziz ibn Saud. He was the founder of Saudi Arabia, modern Saudi Arabia. You understand that up until Saudi, the House of Saud, the family, it was just called the Arabian Peninsula. During Muhammad's time, the founder of Islam, there actually was no name for it as a country. It was just considered the Arabian Peninsula, and there were regions of the Arabian Peninsula, like Yemen. So, as of 2011, when Forbes released an interesting study about the House of Saud and money, there was one surviving son who got between $200,000 and $270,000 per month as his stipend from the oil. Grandchildren averaged about $27,000 a month from the oil. Great-grandchildren, $8,000 to $10,000 a month. And there are thousands, literally thousands of descendants from the original founder who owns the Saudi oil. By the way, the reason I'm going to this is because you might have noticed in the news that there is a clamoring going on for the Obama administration to release the 28 pages that were blacked out from the 9/11 Commission, all right? After the Twin Towers were taken down and the Pentagon was attacked and another plane was lost in Pennsylvania, the government put together a commission called the 9/11 Commission. They issued a report, and there were 28 pages that, for whatever reason, the security apparatus in our country said, no, we're not going to let these 28 pages be printed. There's a lot of speculation that it's because it tied the terrorist attacks to Saudi oil money or to Saudi Arabia directly. And at one level, I for sure, I want to see it, and we should. But at one level, it's almost comedic. It's almost funny. Our State Department knows that the #1 financier of terrorism in the world is Saudi Arabia, but that's not exactly correct. So let me explain. Our State Department has what it calls state sponsors of terrorism. All right? Libya used to be a state sponsor of terrorism. Iran currently is a state sponsor of terrorism. What that means is that the actual government itself funds, equips, gives training to, gives material support to trucks, guns, whatever, to terrorists. All right? A state sponsor of terrorism. Saudi Arabia is not currently considered a state sponsor of terrorism. There are 1 or 2 countries around the world that do consider it, but nobody, if my memory is correct, nobody in NATO considers Saudi Arabia a state sponsor of terrorism. They have perhaps the largest exploited oil reserves in the world. My understanding is that Russia has the largest untapped oil reserves, but Saudi Arabia has the largest known reserves. So we'll see. I don't know. The point is that Saudi Arabia has an awful lot of money from oil. But the Saudi family is a royal family, okay? It's a dynasty. So in many aspects, they are the government. So all this money is being distributed to Saudi family members. Millions and millions of dollars. But the U.S. government doesn't say that they are a state sponsor of terrorism, even though they know that the #1 source, the #1 economic source for the funding of terrorism in the world is Saudi Arabian oil. When we go to the gas pump and we buy gas that the petroleum came from Saudi Arabia, we are funding terrorists who attack us. All right, let the full weight of that sink in on you. We are knowingly funding the terrorists who have and who will attack us, who have attacked us and who will attack us. I've got to take a break. Remember, it's the why and the therefore as we look at this news story. We're going to be talking about New York as well, the primary there for the Democrats and the Republicans. Stay with me.